Okay, in this learning goal, you can draw the constructive and destructive interference of waves. All right, so here's our questions. The wave moves 1 square per second. All right, what does the wave pattern look like after 3 seconds? So let's just talk again briefly about what is constructive, what is this, constructive and destructive interference. What does that mean? So when two waves are on the same side of this is called the equilibrium position, we can think of them as positive numbers. So this is +1 and +1. Let's just say it has an amplitude of +1. So when those two waves overlap with one another, and they're in the same position, their amplitudes are going to add. So we're going to have an amplitude of +2. Whereas if they're on opposite sides of the equilibrium position, I can think it's +1, -1, and that would give me 0. So this is called destructive interference. So back here, we got to move these waves over. It says 1 square per second, and what does it look like after 3 seconds? So these squares are going to move by 3 spots here. So let's try to move. I find the best way to do this is give these different colors. So that's one of my waves. We'll use green as my other wave. And let's move this green square over 3 locations. This green wave over 3. So this front edge goes 1, 2, that's 3. So the front edge of this wave is going to be here. Then I go across, up, and the back edge is going to be there as well. Okay. Now my red wave moves to the right 3. So this front edge is going to go 1, 2, 3, right here. And the back edge is going to move 1, 2, 3 right here. So what I'm left with, and let me erase some of this, it's not quite as confusing. This is going to be the position of my 2 new waves. Once those waves have moved over 3 spots. So now the next question you have to ask yourself is, are these waves going to constructively interfere with each other or destructively? So are they on the same side of the equilibrium or opposite sides? So for this one, well, they're on opposite sides of the equilibrium position. So I would look at each square at a time. So what I mean by that is, first let's look at this region right here, and I'll use a different color. First, let's look at anything in this region. Okay, well, the only wave that I have in that region is this part right here. There's nothing up here. Notice my red wave is moved over to the right from that position. So if there's nothing really to add here, all I have is one part of the wave that's below. So let's start our wave here, and it's down 2 units. Okay, so now we're done with that section. Check it off. Let's look at our next section. This section. So let's count. Let's see if I have destructive or interference and how destructive it is. So here I have 1 unit, 2 units above. Here I have 1 unit, 2 units below, and this little triangle piece. So think of this, +2, and this section, now only this part that I'm drawing with the rectangle, that's like -2. So +2, -2, those 2 sections cancel, but what's left over is this little triangle piece. So that, now ask yourself, that triangle piece, well, it's below the equilibrium position. So my triangle piece is below the equilibrium position. And I want to join that with the wave, this wave section. So let's join those 2 parts of the wave. Okay, so now I'm done with this section as well. Okay, let's go to my 3rd section. Let's look at this section. Okay, 2 above, plus 2, minus 2. Oh, that would also give me, it's going to give me 0. Okay, and my last section, remember this is not part, this wave is not part of this anymore. That wave's moved over. So all I have is plus 2 over here, and here from the green part I have nothing. My green wave's moved over. So then my wave pattern would go up to ambient. Okay, so let's look at this. My first section is below, my second section is just this triangle piece below, my third section is 0, and my fourth section is positive 2. So hopefully this helps you out with question 8. Go through the other 8 questions, and hopefully now you can draw constructive and destructive interferences of waves.